and tomorrow there's a new day to wash away the pain. There's a new day to take away your sorrow, and the old ways get washed out by the rain. Darling, you've got to keep holding on through the night, 'cause I promise you this: if you try to get some sleep, if you give up the fight, if only just for a bit.
Okay, I'm going to explain what happened at our doctor's appointment. You guys probably won't see this video until after our next appointment, which is tomorrow. So today's Thursday, the 7th, and we have another appointment tomorrow, the 8th, with a high-risk OB. So I'll probably end up posting this tomorrow after that appointment, once we already know more about what's going on. So yesterday we had a follow-up anatomy scan. So it was 27 weeks and 5 days. Yeah, 27 weeks, 5 days. And I guess between week 27 and 28 is when the amount of fluid in baby girl's kidneys was allowed to go from 4 milliliters or something, milliliters, to 7 milliliters. There was only 3.8 milliliters of fluid in her kidneys, so that was fine. But she noticed then that her kidneys were measuring pretty small, so she went ahead and did a full growth scan to check everything else out. So we were told her kidneys looked fine, and then they did the full growth scan, and we found out that baby girl has something called IUGR, which is intrauterine growth restriction. And basically what that means is she is not growing accordingly to the growth charts, and she falls under the 10th percentile, and she is more specifically in the 7th percentile for her size. So she's weighing 2 pounds and 2 ounces, and we aren't too worried about that, as long as she's steadily growing on her own growth chart. There is no raise for concern, but she still does have it, because anything under the 10th percentile is considered IUGR. And although it could be you're following your trend, you still are diagnosed with IUGR, if that makes sense. We don't know if she's following her own growth scan chart, because it's too early on for us to know that. But from her last scan to this scan, she should be almost closer to 3 pounds, and she is only 2 pounds. So that is not the hugest thing that we saw at that appointment. We also saw, or they saw, a pericardial effusion, I think that's how you pronounce it. So because she has a pericardial effusion, that is why they really wanted to refer us to a high risk OB. The pericardial effusion is 2 millimeters, so it's literally like right on the cuspid of being considered a normal range to being critical range. So it was a lot for me to process yesterday, and my doctor was out sick. So I had a different doctor, and he talked way too fast for me to be able to process everything that was said in that appointment. So I ended up messaging my doctor on our portal, hoping she would respond, and the assistant that she has ended up calling me and was like, you know, the doctor just told me that you sent a really long message, and she did respond on the portal, but I wanted to call and make sure you have all the answers you need, which I felt really good about, because when I left the appointment, I was really scared. I thought that we were gonna lose her. I thought that, you know, she's not growing right, there's something wrong with her heart, that we could lose her. So I was scared, and of course I came home and pit of death of Google. There's not that much research done on either of those diagnoses. So whenever she called me later that day, she was like, I'm referring you to a high risk OB, which I already knew. And she's like, but I'm gonna have them call you today. Like, I'm adamant about them calling you today. So I ended up getting a phone call yesterday right before they closed, and I have an appointment tomorrow in the morning to look at all this. I don't exactly know what is going to come of the appointment. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what they're testing for. I know those are the both things that they're looking at, is her IUGR and this pericardial effusion. So we are just hoping that, you know, she continues on her own growth chart and her own growth trend, and she doesn't like plummet. So a lot of the times babies with IUGR will go on their own growth chart and they will start to plateau, and that is when they will decide to induce you, and they will take her out, because she has more chance of a survival to thrive outside of the womb at that point, whenever she starts to plateau. One of the biggest things they told me from yesterday, which they didn't know when I was going to have a high risk appointment, they're like, if you notice reduced movements, you need to go to the emergency room ASAP. It's very important that if you notice that, you go, because with IUGR, a lot of the times, if they are in distress, they will stop moving as a way to conserve energy to continue to grow. So and she moves a lot. So if you feel decreased movements, make sure you are like paying attention to that. So I ended up, like, I was so obnoxiously paranoid last night about everything. I barely slept. Today is a freaking ugly day outside, but luckily Mauricio's home today, and we have that appointment tomorrow morning, and I got really lucky that we were able to be squeezed in, and hopefully we get answers to a lot of our questions tomorrow, because a lot of the things are like right on the border, but with IUGR, she is measuring 4 weeks behind. So I'm supposed to be 28 weeks and she's measuring at 24 weeks. So right now I have bi-weekly appointments. And so the worst thing that can happen is they hospitalize me to keep track of that, to really see that trend. So we're kind of just waiting it out and seeing tomorrow what the next steps are, you know? So I just wanted to make this video right now before I knew the answers, and then a video when I do know the answers to all of my questions that I have. I've been writing down so many questions. I'm literally gonna go to the appointment tomorrow and be like, I know I'm gonna be annoying, but I have so many questions and I hope you can answer them. But that is it for this video, because I really don't have much to say or much energy to say anything other than that. We also have other problems, health problems within our family that my family is dealing with. So pile it all, just one thing after another. It's been a lot. So I just need to get through the next 24 hours. But yeah, and I hope you guys have a good day. Bye guys.